Hey guys, Mercenary here bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be talking about Mercenary Tao and his banner, and of course the big question, as you know, you can see from the title and the thumbnail, should you summon or should you skip? Now, this one feels like a very easy one. I know OG Dragon Ball fans potentially getting ready to get mad, as you know, many have been over the last few days with people calling Tao unhype and an easy skip and all this kind of stuff, but a lot of this is going to come down to, as I say in all of my summon or skip videos, right? These videos are designed to give people who are newer players, maybe you're low spending, maybe you're free to play. I guess if you're a new player and you're also a whale, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But if you're a free to play or a lower spending player, your main aim should always be to try and get the most value out of your stones that you possibly can. And so that's why I make these videos, because we go over these banners, think about how good the banner itself and the unit is potentially going to be, but we also think about the landscape of the game and what else is going on at the moment and what else is going to be coming up. So obviously if you're an OG Dragon Ball fan, you've been waiting for something like this, you're super hyped for Tao, or you are a whale or a collector or something, right? It doesn't really matter what I say, like, you're going to summon for him regardless, and at the end of the day that's up to you, right? But for people who do need to be a bit more careful with their stones, we're going to break down everything that we know about Tao's banner so far, what we can expect to see, things like tickets, coins, pity, all that kind of stuff. And basically I will just be giving you guys my advice on the situation, although I'm sure some of you can probably guess fairly early on what it's going to be, but we'll go ahead and jump in. So Tao is pretty solid of a character. I haven't watched any of the private server showcases. I've seen people already, now that they're out, saying like, oh, okay, yeah, he is actually pretty crazy. The thing is, you've got to think about his leader skill, right? So mission execution, which is not a particularly great category. It's got some interesting characters on it for sure. Earthbred fighters, and then the plus 50% bonus is to Dragon Ball Seekers or Earthlings, which, like, there's a lot of characters on mission execution, like some of the androids and things like that, that aren't on either of these, right? So they're not going to be getting, they're only going to be getting the 170 lead, which, like, we're in a meta now where you can still get away with that for the hardest difficulty content, but you do really want, like, the majority of your team to be getting the full 200 or 220% leader skill, and then, you know, you can have the odd couple of units on the team maybe not getting it, and it's not the end of the world, but you ideally want to have as much of that leader skill boost as you can possibly get. So that is something that will play an effect. And this guy, he is a tanky unit. He's not a support or anything like that, so he's not the kind of character that you can just build a team however you like and throw this guy floating in slot 3. I mean, you can do that, but he doesn't give any benefit to the team for doing that, right? So he's an interesting enough character. His banner unit, the General Blue, I don't think is that great. He just relies on dodge for all of the hardest hitting bosses, which he has 80% if he's in slot 3 as a floating support, so I get that is fine, and he is giving 70% support to Tao, so obviously that is very good. But yeah, like, I wouldn't be summoning if both the TU, if both the new unit and the banner unit are really good, that obviously gives that little bit of extra advantage, but I wouldn't say they are necessarily like that crazy. And so then the next big thing you've got to think about when you summon for him is the banner. So this is the last banner that we got that was the usual standard, like, filler Dokkan Fest with pity, because we do know from the data download this banner obviously has pity coins. After this, you know, there was the we had the Diamond Vegeta banner as the anniversary was ending, but that didn't have a banner unit or anything, so it was a little bit different. And then the banners after that have been Saiyan Day, which didn't have pity, so it had less of the things. Actually, Cell's banner, I could have brought up Cell's banner, to be fair. And then obviously Golden Week was a dual Dokkan Fest. But the thing you have to remember is banners that have pity now are 10 featured unit banners. So Tao's banner is going to have 10 featured SSRs. So obviously the first two are going to be Tao and General Blue. Then in terms of the most, like, the newest returning Dokkan Fest, it should actually be Tech Buhan. So Buhan returning is pretty cool. Like, Buhan is very good. I only have the one copy of him. He's pretty solid. Getting some dupes of him would be nice, but I don't think necessarily. I don't think he's good enough that, like, you should summon on the banner because he'll be on it, right? But he should be on here. And then the rest of the lineup is a bit up in the air, because a lot of the time the characters are supposed to be relevant to the new unit or their leader skill. So there could be some mission execution characters on here. Don't expect to see Saiyan Day Kid Goku, right? Because even though he's the most recent DB Saga Dokkan Fest, he only came out for Saiyan Day. The Saiyan Day unit generally doesn't return until something like October, so we are almost certainly not going to be seeing AGL Kid Goku on this banner. And so then it's going to be a lot of older Dokkan Fest. Maybe Roshi could be on here as well, I guess. But I feel like the banner's going to have some disappointments. Path to Power Kid Goku being on here would be quite cool, because even though he's an older unit, he obviously got his EZA recently and is still very good, and is very good on Tao's team, right, giving him the extra damage reduction. So that would actually be very cool if Path to Power Kid Goku was on here. But the other thing I think we will see is the banner lineup will very heavily suggest what some of the EZAs and things like that will be, because with the category and now that we know who's on it, characters like, for example, the Tech Androids, Tech 17 and 18, if they're on the banner, I feel like it's almost certain they're going to get an EZA. AGL Captain Ginyu, if he's on there, we talked about him in the category video yesterday. If he's on here, that could be almost a lock-in that he gets an EZA. And then obviously the other interesting one is something like, for example, AGL Super 17. He could be due a Super EZA. And could be on the banner. So the banner lineup will give us an idea who the EZAs could potentially be, but otherwise it's just going to be a lot of older Dokkan Fest exclusives. No one really stand out, I don't think. I mean, like I say, even Buhan being on here doesn't necessarily give the banner huge value. And then because it's 10 featured characters, it means if you're summoning for Tao, like even if you do pull a featured unit, like get a guaranteed featured animation, you've only got a 1 in 10 chance of getting Mercenary Tao. Now you do have, of course, with the pity banners, every third multi is a guaranteed featured 7 times. So you do get that. And obviously everyone gets the free tickets. I suppose I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but obviously everyone should summon with the free tickets. Like, someone commented on the last summon or skip video I made, and I didn't think I would have to say something that obvious, but obviously when I say summon or skip, I'm not saying skip the banner completely, don't use the free tickets, right? Like, obviously everybody should use the free tickets to summon on the banner. We're talking about whether you then summon on the banner with stones if you're not lucky enough to pull the unit with the free tickets, right? I feel like that goes without saying, but apparently not, because somebody did comment it last time, so there you go. But the banner I don't expect to be very good. 10 featured SSRs, definitely a bit of a nightmare. So if we take a look at the data download thread again earlier, I did make a video about this, but we know we've got the special tickets that we're getting for free. There's purchasable tickets. So obviously, again, if you're like a free-to-play or low-spending player, which these videos are normally aimed at, you're probably not going to be buying the tickets anyway, so that's not really relevant. If you're somebody that spends a little bit of money here and there, and you don't want to waste the stones that you have, then obviously buying one of the smaller, like, cheap ticket packs and giving that a go is worth a try. But obviously now that we're getting free tickets, you always want to do those first, right, before you spend any money. Now the other interesting thing is, well, there's the pity coin, but the other interesting thing is the summon points. So this is a thing that was addressed in the producer letter a little while ago, a new summoning system, which seems very interesting. So by summoning on the banner, you will be able to get summon points, which can be exchanged for tickets. And it seems like, from the data download, these are the tickets that you will be able to exchange for. Dokkan Festival and Legendary Summon Carnival. Now, my assumption, and we won't know for sure until everything goes live tomorrow, and I will make a more detailed video going over it, so once we know all the details, my assumption is that these are going to be for the global download campaign. Because if we take a look at the images that I've got up here, what's the best way to get these like full screen? I guess there we go. So how to use summon points. Summon point can be obtained by performing a multi-summon. Once you've obtained a certain amount of points, you can exchange them for tickets. The exclusive tickets can be used in the exclusive ticket summons. Now it says there's 2 types of summon tickets, one for Dokkan festivals and another for Carnival and Legendary summons. Now it does say underneath, unfortunately it's the one that's covered up by the subtitle, but the pool of characters that you summon for is different to the pool of characters that you like on the banner that you're summoning on, basically. So summoning on Tao's banner gives you points that you use to get tickets, but the tickets aren't for the Tao banner. So that even more so suggests that these are going to be for something coming up in the future. And I don't know how they're going to spread these out, but honestly, that would be something really cool if literally it's kind of like, now we know that the Global Dokkan campaign and then the anniversary are 6 months apart each. If every banner in between those two big celebrations was giving you summon points that you could save up to get tickets for that next big celebration, I actually think that's a really good idea for something that would encourage people to summon on the filler banners, because a lot of people do have that mentality of only summoning for the anniversary and then the worldwide, which obviously now is going to be different with the way the two celebrations are set up. But like, that's something that I like encourage free-to-play players to do, right? You should only really be summoning now on these two big anniversary level campaigns. But this is a little bit interesting for people who do have some stones to drop for a character that they really like. The fact that if you are doing some summons in between these big celebrations, they are then potentially rewarding you with tickets that you get to use in those bigger celebrations. It's not like a one-for-one thing. It's not like, you know, every multi you do before the big celebration ends up translating to you getting a ticket so you can do a full multi in the big celebration, because that would obviously be like pretty crazy. But I feel like this is very good and very, very interesting. So that is something to bear in mind, that this new summon point system will be coming into play. But you also have to remember, as it says on the image, you get 1 point per multi-summon. So bear in mind, like, we don't know how many tickets you're going to be able to get or what the exchange rate is, but it's almost certainly not going to be one like point for one ticket. Or maybe it is, because then I guess you'd have to do, what, 7 multis to get 7 tickets, which could then be a multi-summon for 7 characters. But we'll have to see what the exchange rate is going to be, because again, all of that will go live tomorrow. I'll make a more detailed video. I don't think that's something you need to really take into account for this banner. I don't think anyone should be summoning on Tao's banner specifically because they want to get a bunch of these summon points to get tickets. Obviously, realistically, you should just be saving your stones, but we'll break that down in more detail, like I say, tomorrow. So realistically, when you analyze everything that's going on, the free tickets obviously worth doing to get your free summons, but when it comes to actually spending stones, like should you summon or should you skip Mercenary Tao, I feel like this is an easy skip, right? Because even though we've mentioned it already in the video, the big thing is, of course, the Global Dokkan campaign. This big celebration that is looming in the near future that has been described to us or advertised to us as an anniversary level campaign. So those are the kind of things that you always want to be making sure that you're able to do a lot of summons on, because those units, like, you know, the anniversary units, most of the time, not all of them, right, looking at you, Vegeta and Frieza, but the anniversary units are usually up there with being the best units in the game. So it's almost certain that the Global Dokkan campaign units, at least 1 or 2 of them, are going to be up there in that top 3, top 5, like, best units in the game. And that celebration comes out in a month's time. So you don't want to be spending a whole bunch of stones on Mercenary Tao now. His celebration in full probably is going to give out, what, maybe 300 stones at most, maybe 400? And then you go into this big anniversary level Global Dokkan campaign and you've got enough to do like 4 multis or something left, right? So that's definitely not what you want. I think this is a pretty easy skip, but let me know what you guys think down below. Like, as I've said before, as much as I've said that Tao is not hype for me as a release, because he's not on like the teams I like to run, he's not got good links with the characters I like to run. Like, Tao is a perfectly fine character, a good character from OG Dragon Ball. I'm not saying in any way that he doesn't deserve a Dokkan Fest. You know, like, he's just not a hype summon for me. And I think people misunderstand that. Like, people will say, oh, well, Videl got a Dokkan Fest. It's like, yeah, Videl wasn't hype for me either. Like, I don't know what to tell you, right? But hype aside, it's up to you. If you really like Tao and you really want to summon for him, at least he is a good unit, right? This isn't one of those, he's a super easy skip because he's bad. I think he's just an easy skip because he is very limited, restricted on teams and stuff, and this big celebration is right around the corner. I just personally don't think it makes any sense to be summoning for this guy at the moment, unless, like I say, you are a whale or a collector. But obviously, in the end of the day, it is up to you. So let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be summoning on Tao's banner outside of the free tickets, of course? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ninja. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.